Manchester United travel to face Everton at the Hill Dickens Stadium. These are going to be five things to look at from the game. We'll be talking predicted team, huge points needed for Manchester United, and to capitalise on Liverpool, Chelsea, and Aston Villa. We'll be talking about that. And how Manchester United really can get 3 points from Everton. So the first thing that we always start off by talking about is the Manchester United team. And the first thing, that is the team there. I wouldn't make any changes. I don't think there's a need to make changes. I think that's the team I'd go for. Cunha comes in. Cunha goes out. Sesko comes in. That's ultimately it. I don't see Carrick making any more changes. I think that team's look very good. The back four of Martinez, Shaw, Maguire and Dalot look very calm, very composed, and have done a very good job defensively. Lamont obviously stays in net. In midfield, Casemiro, Mainu as well. They've had a very good relationship. They've been pretty good on the ball, creating chances. Few assists in there for Mainu, few goals for Casemiro. And I think against an Everton midfield, that is quite strong, to be honest, which we talk about. I think that's the midfield that we want. There's no changes I'd make there. Bruno, obviously, in the 10. I think he has 11 goal contributions in 12 games against Everton, which is quite an impressive stat. I think he's someone who can have a real part to play in this game in terms of his creativity in the final third. And obviously, he's trying to probably still break that assist record. Then you have Mbeumo on the left. Listen, I think we do lose a bit from Mbeumo on the left, and I think that would probably be the only position where I'm a bit kind of concerned about, because we've seen Mbeumo against West Ham on the left. It wasn't great. We've seen him quite a few times on the left this season. You just don't really get the best out of Mbeumo on that side. He's someone who is quite isolated. Can't really cut on the inside, obviously, because he's on the left. More time going on the outside. And I think Ahmad can't be dropped. So, listen, it's either Cunha or Mbeumo. I'm going to go for Mbeumo. I don't think, on his form, how important he's been for this team, I don't think he would be dropped. Ahmad obviously on the right. I think Ahmad's a player who's been fantastic for United this season. I think we do lose a lot offensively and defensively when he's not on the team. Might not have had many goals or assists, but he's definitely someone that we do lose a lot from when he's not in the team. And Benjamin Sesko as well through the middle. He has to start. He's had a great record under Carrick. I think it's 3 or 4 goals I think he's got under Carrick. Definitely the most goals in 2026. He's been United's most informed player of late. And again, listen, the conversation about Sesko is interesting, because do you play Sesko against Tarkowski and Branthwaite with the risk of him just being out of the game for large amounts of time, because they are very physical and are likely to win most of the duels? Or do you go for Bryan Mbeumo, someone who's going to play off the line, drop deep, go out wide, and is more of a technical player to deal with, more likely to draw fouls? I don't know. I've gone with Sesko. I don't think you can't keep Sesko on the bench for his performance, but I do also think Cunha would be unfortunate to drop out. But that is the Manchester United team. Now let's look at United's threat from that team. I think it's this guy, as I've mentioned, Bryan Mbeumo. He's been United's, for me, best. Him and Bruno have been United's best 2 players this season, up there with Lamond as well. I think his impact on the team has been great. And Mbeumo, I think the way in which he can stretch defences, he can come on the inside and can score goals. And I think that is his biggest asset, the fact that he can score goals. I think one thing that's also underrated is his defensive work rate. I think there's been so many times this season where we've seen him defensively being very, very good, particularly in that West Ham game, I think against City. I think he obviously prefers to play on the right, but he's a danger man any place that he plays in the pitch. And I think him against, whether that's Mikalenko, I know Jake O'Brien suspended, left or the right, I fancy Mbeumo to get a few goals in this game. His quality's been good, his stats are good. And as I said, he can cause a problem in any area of the pitch. He just needs that one moment where he can score a goal. Now let's talk about Everton. Everton are a team who, listen, they're on great form. I think they have the 3rd most clean sheets in the league. They haven't won at the Hill Dickinson in a while. But listen, they've got good players in DI. They play decent football. They obviously beat United at Old Trafford, which was such a frustrating game to watch. United were down to against 10 men for such a long time and couldn't find a way through. I think Everton are a team who have a lot of quality. As I said, defensively in midfield, they're quite strong as well. And I think the Everton team is pretty good. We know how Moyes likes to play. They're a very tricky team to break down. They've got a lot of good quality about them. Yes, they did lose their last game 2-1 against Bournemouth. Obviously, they did have a red card in that. But listen, they're a decent team, man. They've scored quite a few goals from set pieces, 7 from set pieces this season. So they are a threat. Tarkowski, Branthwaite, very, very physical and strong defenders. As I said, their best players being in DI this season. Jack Grealish, obviously out injured. But listen, they have a pretty good defensive record. As I said, only Chelsea, Villa, Man City, and Arsenal have a better record than they do. They concede 1.2 on average goals per game, which is not which is good actually. Sorry, whereas you look at United, we're conceding 1.4. So listen, they have a decent defensive record. 9 Premier League clean sheets this season. Only City and Arsenal have more, with 11 for City, 13 for Arsenal. And they don't dominate possession. I think that's something to definitely look at as well. Their possession stats are not great. I think it's below 50%. Another stat about them, they've played 13 at home, won 4, drawn 4, lost 5. Their away form is better. So their home form's not been great. So yeah, that's that. Everton, good players, good team. I think their threat here, Iliman Ndiaye, he's been someone who's very tricky, play on the left, play on the right, up front. Got a moment of brilliance about him. He's been, as I said, their best player. He's someone who can cause United problems, and I think this is why potentially you look at bringing in Maswari to deal with him, because I think he's a quality player, and defensively you need to be very, very good against him and watch his runs, because one moment he can move and score a goal. So yeah, that's Iliman Ndiaye. Now the fourth thing I want to talk about, this is a huge opportunity for Manchester United. Liverpool picked up late points against Forest. Aston Villa dropped points against Leeds, and so did Chelsea against Burnley late on. If United can get 3 points to against Everton, that would take them 3 points behind Aston Villa, 3 points ahead of Liverpool, and 3 points ahead of Chelsea. So that would be absolutely fantastic. I think Manchester United need the 3 points. 3 points are an absolute must, and I think that is sort of would be a huge indicator. There's been so many opportunities this season. If United win this, we can go into the top 4. If we do this, we can go here. Now, ultimately, we have to win, and 3 points are a must at the Hill Dickinson. United have a decent record against Everton, and I think it'd be important for United to get the job done. And to capitalise on that, because listen, that top 4 charge, we need Champions League. We need Champions League football, and that's ultimately something that would absolutely benefit Manchester United. So yeah, listen, I think we need the 3 points, and I think that would be absolutely vital. Now, the fifth and final thing that we talk about is the result. Listen, the result is absolutely fantastic. I'm backing Manchester United to get the job done. I think it's going to be a very tricky game. Um, Everton, good team. I'm going to back United to get the 3-1 window. I think it's going to be an exciting game. It'd be great to see United back in action after 10 or 11 days. And hopefully see Carrick ball and get some free-flowing football. As I said, we need to get the 3 points to capitalise and get into that top 4. I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United win. Let me know your thoughts.